All right, hello and welcome. This is our basics class of our Fit Essentials. My name is Shauna. I'm going to be guiding you through this session. It's going to be about a half hour in length. A couple of items that you're going to want to have available today. We've got a mat down on the ground. We're going to be starting down on the floor on our backs, doing some work for our hips and our low back. If you have a band, if it's tough for you to grab your foot when you're lying on your back, like if you roll to your side, at the very end, before we come back up to standing, we're going to stretch our quads. So you might want to have a band or a small towel to help grab your foot. Have that nearby. You're welcome to make your way on down. And then notice I have a little step up here, or a footstool. We're going to be practicing some step ups later on in the session. So just some items that you might want to have available, and a little bit of a chair, do a little bit of seated stretching probably near the end. With that said, if you're wearing the bands, we've already added air, so you can do that now. If you need to press pause on the recording, go for it. And otherwise, go ahead and make your way down to the floor, and we're going to come onto your back. All right. Making your way on down, coming on to the back. And as you lie down on your back, try to check into like how your shoulders are positioned. So sometimes our shoulders will tend to roll out. What you can do is just gently roll to one side. Think about like drawing your shoulder blade down your spine, down your torso to help open through the chest. And then same thing on the other side. I'll push through my leg, roll off that opposite shoulder, draw that shoulder blade back, and then reposition myself. Try to center your head so your chin's nice and neutral. You can pick your head up, draw your chin in, and then we're going to bend the knees, have the feet flat on the ground, and start by walking them out just outside the hips or roughly the width of your mat. From here, just nice and gentle, we're going to start to open up through the hips with some windshield wipers. You're going to lower both knees towards one side of the mat, bring them back to neutral, and then gradually lower them to the second side. It's nice and smooth here. Breathing as you move. Try to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Let's get one more touch on each side, and then we're going to hug our legs into the chest for our double kneaded chest. So once you even yourself out with your windshield wipers, start to walk your feet in. You can pick one leg up at a time, trying to grab the front of the shin underneath the knee. And then hug those legs into your body and just gently rock your body side to side, loosening up that low back. Fantastic. From here, we're going to get ready to practice some bridging. So some good activation for the back of the body as well as our midline. So once you finish with that double kneaded chest, we're going to place the feet back on the floor with the knees bent, a little bit closer than the windshield wipers, right underneath the hips. From here, when you're ready, you're going to draw your stomach in, pushing your lower spine into the floor, and then one segment at a time, push through your feet and gradually start to raise the hips up off the ground. Just come into a nice little small bridge position, and then you'll slowly lower back down. Once you get on the ground, you can take a moment to pause, and then we'll go into that next rep, drawing that stomach in, thinking about trying to flatten that lower spine into the floor before you push into the feet and start to raise the hips up towards the sky. Try to find that full foot contact with the ground. So the heels push down, and then see if you can find the activation of the big toe, also pushing through your toes at the same time as the heels. We'll spend about another 45 seconds or so here. Breathing out as you lift the hips up. Breathing in as you lower the hips back down. And then just move at a rhythm that works best for you. Get a nice opening. Try to squeeze a bit more of the muscle in the back of the body as you raise the hips up, meaning you want to try to engage your bum, squeeze the glutes. Maybe one or two more times. Actually lowering down. Take a moment to pause as needed. And then final time, lift the hips up, pushing those knees out. And then nice and slow, go ahead and lower. Once you finish that, we're going to return to that double kneaded chest. Take a little stretch break here, and then we'll do it one more time. So hug the legs in, rocking side to side. Very good. From here, we're going to get a little stretch in the glutes. So keep your right leg against your chest as you lower the left foot back to the floor. So you're hugging your right leg in, and then go ahead and slide out the leg of the left. So you want to fully extend that leg on the left against the ground. Think about trying to push that left thigh down. And now as you hug your right leg in, go ahead and circle through the ankle. Rotate that ankle around on the right foot. Anywhere between 5 and 10 times in one direction. Normal to hear some cracks and clicks through there, getting all those tendons to move. And then when you're ready, start to rotate that ankle the other direction. Very good. And then from here, take the right leg, use your left hand, trying to grab that leg and now draw it over towards your left side of the body, getting a little bit of an opening through this outer hip and glute area here. And then just close the eyes and breathe 3 to 5 times, in through the nose, out through the mouth, at your own pace. Nice deep breaths. One more time. In nice and deep. And out. And then release that right leg. Switch it up with the left. So you start to slide the left foot up. Interlace the hands in front of that shin. And then if you haven't already, go ahead and slide out the heel of the right leg to fully extend. Pushing that right thigh down. Start by hugging that left leg towards the left shoulder and go ahead and move through that ankle. Very nice. Just making some nice circles there. When you're ready, go ahead and change the direction. Circle that foot the other way. Fantastic. And now we'll move into that glute stretch. So you're going to take that left leg and pull it across the body like you're trying to pull it towards the right side of your body. Keeping your hips on the ground, and then just feel a nice opening in that outer left hip. Close the eyes and 3 to 5 breaths here. Nice deep cleansing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. You can add a little pause at the top and bottom of each breath. So one more time. Deep breath in. And smooth breath out. On that exhale, go to release that leg down, keeping the knee bent, bring that foot flat on the ground, and then bring your right leg up to meet it. Fantastic. Reposition the shoulders or anything that you need if you're a little uncomfortable on the ground. And then when you're ready, we'll start our second and final round of those bridges. So drawing the belly in. I'm also now lying my hands at the side, like palms down, and you can get a little extra activation for the back of the body by pushing your arms into the floor as the hips rise up. Gradually lowering down. Kind of relax those arms once the hips rest on the ground. And then when you're ready, breathing out, drawing that belly in. As the hips start to come up, think about pushing through the hands and the back of the arms into the ground. Activate that upper body as well. Lower to lower. And then strong to rise. Hips come up. You want to make sure you don't go into any kind of pinching sensation. So it's okay to have a shorter bridge as long as you don't have any pinching sensation, that lower back, or sometimes the front of the hips will talk to us as well. Just trying to wake up more and more of those muscles, squeezing those glutes. Resting down. Another 30 seconds here. Breathing out as the hips lift up. Breathing in as we rest them down. Good job. Find your own rhythm for the last 20 seconds. Go ahead and relax those eyes closed if they're not already, and then just feel into your body. Try to talk to your body nicely. Taking good care. Fantastic. Once you finish this final rep, go ahead and pause. Fantastic. We're going to return to one more time of that double knee to chest, hugging the legs in. Loosen up that lower back. And only if you feel like you want to. You can stay here if this feels best. If you want to go a little bit deeper into the twist, you can take your arms, keep the elbows bent, or bend the elbows rather, and then splay the arms out to the side like you're a scarecrow lying on your back. And then with your legs together, with the knees bent, you're going to very gently bring both legs towards the left side of the body as you turn your head and look over the right shoulder. And just go as far into that twist as you feel comfortable. And then when you're ready, you'll pull the belly in, lift the legs, and then switch sides. Now both knees come towards your right side, and then see if you can turn the head and neck and look over your left arm. It's going to give you a little bit deeper stretch in that double kneaded chest. Maybe one more time on both sides. Bringing the knees back towards the left as you turn the head towards the right. And then even it out. Legs to the right, turning to the left. And rest there. Good job. Both feet flat on the ground. And now we're going to roll onto the side of the body. So you can roll over towards your right side. You want to try to prop up onto that right elbow, pulling that elbow in, stacking it right underneath the shoulder. And now this is what I was talking about earlier on. If you can grab the foot of that top leg, so your left leg, then go ahead and reach for the foot. If you can't quite grab the foot, you can work this towel, or obviously I have a band here, like around the ankle, around the shin. If you can get it to the foot, that's great. And then we're simply looking to use that band to pull the leg back, and you're trying to bring the heel closer to the glute. The whole goal here is to get a nice stretch in the quad. So if you haven't started already, go ahead and start that stretch, and then see I'm all slouching this downside shoulder. See if you can lift up, have some engagement out of that downside shoulder. Working that upper body just a little bit. Fantastic. We're going to hold about another 15 seconds. Make sure you're not arching that lower spine. So draw the belly in if you're feeling any comfort in that lower spine. Breathing. And 2, 1, and release that foot. Fantastic. Rolling ourselves over. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to sit up here and spin myself around. All right. And then again, if you need to use the band or a towel, sometimes it's easier from a seated position to get that band around the ankle. Prop up on that elbow. And then when you're ready, we're going to pull this foot towards the glute. If you can grab the foot, then that's ideal. You'll get a little bit better grip on it and get a nice stretch for the quad. Lifting up out of that downside shoulder, get some engagement through that upper body. Another 20 seconds here. Feel free, once you have that stretch started, you can just close your eyes and then breathe into that stretch. In through the nose, out through the mouth, nice and smooth. Good. When you're ready, go ahead and release that foot. And then we're all done here on the floor. We're going to make our way up to standing. So whatever you need to do to get up to standing, I'm going to show the help of the chair here. I'm going to crawl to the chair, use the seat of the chair to kind of push into, get one foot forward like I'm going to do a lunge, and then pull myself up. I know, it's my job to make it look easy. Getting on and off the ground is one of the more vulnerable things for individuals, especially as we age, but if the more we do it, the more confidence that we can have. So we try to take our time and make sure we're still able to get on the ground and off the ground. It's good for our body. All right. Once you make your way up to standing, we're going to come to bringing our feet just underneath those hips. And we're going to kind of bring the blood back into our head and just start to loosen up a little bit more with some hip circles. Nice and smooth. 3 to 5 times in one direction. And then we'll swivel the hips the other way. 3 to 5 times in that second direction, and resting there. Good job. Next, I'm going to have you mirror me now. So when I'm moving my right leg, I'm going to speak as if it's your left leg. Go ahead and take your right leg, take a step back behind you, and then I want you to rock back so that your feet are hip width apart. So we don't want to be in narrow stance here, and just let that heel drop back onto the floor. Draw your belly in so you tuck your ribs down. And then if you're able to reach your arms up to overhead, reach your arms out in front of the body, take them up to overhead, and then breathe here, lifting up Eyes up, looking forward. If the overhead position isn't an option, cross the arms over the shoulders and you'll raise those elbows up. So a couple more breaths. Lift and rest. Good job. Keep the feet where they are. Rest the arms down for a moment. And then we're going to go one more time there, raising them up either overhead or over the shoulders. I'm going to face forward this time. Now you're going to bend, like side bend your body towards that lead leg. Nice and gentle, bending towards the side and coming back up. Fantastic. Rest those arms down and let's switch legs. So your left foot steps forward and now the right foot steps back. Feet stay hip width apart, rocking back into that heel. Again, drawing that belly down and in. And as you breathe in, raise those arms up. You can cross them over the shoulders here. If you can, go up to overhead. Choose that. Breathe as you lift up out of those hips. Open everything up and then lower the arms down. Very good. One more time on this side. Staying strong through those legs, either over the shoulders or back up to overhead. And now stay nice and strong. We're going to do a little side bend with our body, reaching the arms over towards the side or bending our torso towards the side. Unwind and rest the arms. Wonderful. Walk that back leg in. And now if your step isn't nearby, go ahead and bring your step nearby. Sometimes it helps to have it against a wall, somewhere that you can ensure it's nice and sturdy. We're not going to use it at the very first exercise, but you just want to have it close by. All right. The first exercise we're going to be practicing here is a little bit of balance with our sway movement. So I'd like you to walk those feet just outside the hips. As always, we're drawing that stomach in, breathing in, raise those arms wide to the side. And now just as it sounds, we're going to start to sway our body. You don't have to come onto one foot, but just lean towards one side. As you come back to center, rest those arms down. You can even crouch down a little bit and then breathe in, lift up as you lean towards that second side. Spread the arms as wide as you can. Good job. Pausing in the middle, breathe in, breathe out, shift back to the first side, stretching up and then down and expand. Squeeze the shoulders back as you spread the arms wide. Wonderful. Breathing in, one more time each direction, sway. If you feel like you can come onto one leg, you can. Otherwise, we're just simply practicing, helping our body to adjust, changing our center of gravity. Back to the second side, squeezing those shoulders back, and go ahead and rest. All right, next, I'm going to use the back of my step stool here. You could also hold on to the back of the chair. We're going to work a little bit of some squatting. So I'm going to walk the feet about hip width apart. I have just a little bit of a toe out. So maybe if I imagine like the face of a clock being drawn on the ground, I'd have my right foot pointing towards about 1 o'clock and my left foot pointing towards about the 11 o'clock. From here, I'm going to hold on to the back of my step stool or the back of a chair. A countertop works great. And then when you're ready, find something straight ahead to focus on, keeping your chest tall, pushing your knees wide and sitting your hips back. Focus on keeping the weight into the heels. And now focus to push down through the legs or pull yourself up as needed with the arms. Good job. Breathing in, sitting those hips back, pushing those knees wide, sinking on down, trying to get some good opening through the ankles, the knees, our hips, and then coming back to the top. Fantastic. Maybe one more time. Eyes up, looking forward, knees pushing out, belly drawn in, and then drive your legs into the ground, pull yourself back up. Fantastic. And rest. Good job. I'm going to turn my step stool back around. We're going to take a little stretch break, and then we're going to begin our step ups. So for this stretch break on this one, let's practice a toe touch. Feet are walking in so that they're just underneath my hips. Toes are all now pointing forward. Establish a little baby bend in your knees so that we're not hyperextended through the knees. Drawing the belly in, hands on the thighs, and then chin to the chest as you go ahead and start to slide the hands down the legs. Never forcing, just get a nice stretch for the back of your body. Bow the head down if you can and breathe 2 to 3 times here. Trying to expand your airflow, sending that air into the back of the body. On that next inhale, push through the legs, start to slide the hands back up and coming all the way back to standing. Fantastic. All right. If you were using the bands, go ahead and hit those little nozzles, releasing your air. We're at our 20-minute mark. And now we're going to get ready to start the step ups. We're going to go all on the left leg before we take a little break between sides, and then we'll go all on the right leg. So when you're ready, get as much of your foot up on that step as you can. You can use those arms as needed. You're going to pull yourself up, and I'd like to see you stand all the way up on the step. So squeeze the tush, pull the arms back, and then you can hold on to those arms as needed, or just reach out as you step back. Bringing both feet down, and then we'll stick with that left leg, picking it up, pulling into the arms as needed, trying to fully extend at the top. So squeeze the tush, stack the shoulders over the hips, and then making your way back down. Couple of things to pay attention to. Watch the knee doesn't dive in. So try to keep the knee in line with the foot, both as you come up and then as you come back down. Fantastic. Picking the foot back up, pushing your leg into the step, coming all the way to standing and down from there. Good job. After you finish that side, step away from your step, take a little break. We're going to go back to our hip circles, but now we're going to think figure eights. So I'm just going to imagine where my belly button is. It's okay if you don't quite feel like you're doing it right. We're just looking to move and loosen up the body. Fantastic. Try to swivel the hips the other way. Loosen it all up. And then we're going to get ready for your right leg. So making your way back to that step. Reaching out, holding on as needed. And now on your right leg, pick it up. Another thing you want to focus on is as you're pulling yourself up to the top, try to avoid the hips kicking out. So let me see if I can show you from the start. Go ahead and keep working as you can. We don't want those hips to swing out wide. So hold strong through the belly as you come up to the top and then sitting back and stepping off. Good job. Place the foot, pull yourself up, coming all the way up and then stepping back. Nice job. Take about another 20 seconds or so, using the arms as much or as little as you need. Back and down. You could also use a staircase if you had a staircase in your house or a little step stool like I'm using here. Typically prefer to have a little bit wider step when I can, but this is what we have today. Final time on this leg, up, down, and let's take a break. Let's go ahead and sit down for a moment. If you have that chair nearby, we'll do a little stretch from seated, and then we'll come back for another round. All righty. So as you come to seated, shimmy right to the edge of the chair. You want to be right up on those sit bones, and then we're going to bring the hands to the bottom of the thighs. We're going to do our seated cat-cow here. So you're going to breathe in, draw the stomach in, bow that head down, draw your shoulders forward. And then as you breathe out, lift the chest, draw those elbows back, lift the head. Good job. Breathing in, draw it all forward, bowing that head down, breathing out, lift the head, looking up to where the ceiling would meet the wall. Good job. 3 more times, bowing down, chin to the chest. Breathing out, pull those elbows back, trying to really lift through that chest. Wonderful. Twice more. Breathing in, taking it forward. Breathing out, draw it back. Excellent. Final time. Super. All right. When you're ready, coming back to standing, either drive off your legs or pull yourself up. And we're going to go back to those sway steps. We're going to go one more time through that series. Short and sweet today. Just get some movement in for our body. Work on some daily skills that we have in our daily life. Sway steps. So as you remember, walking those feet about hip width apart. Breathe in, draw those arms wide, squeeze the shoulders behind you. And then when you're ready, we'll start that sway, leaning to one side. Crouching down, relaxing the arms in between, breathing in, lift up out of the hips as you come to your second side. Pausing there, and then back down, breathe in, breathe out. Watch yourself talk if you feel a little off balance. Try to smile as you move. Good. Once more each way. Breathe in, crouch down, spread the arms, open through the front of the body. Excellent. Final time. Down, up, lift, and relax. Fantastic. All righty, squat practice. And then our last bit of step-ups. Look at the back of the chair, walking those feet about hip-width apart. And whenever you feel ready, holding on as needed, sending the hips back and down. Really key here, try to keep your heels in contact. And then whenever you're ready, push through the ground, pull yourself up. If you don't feel like you need to hold on, reach the arms straight out, eyes up, chest up, knees driving wide, and then pull up, pushing through those legs. Good job. We're gonna take about another 20 seconds. Breathing in, knees drive wide, hips sit back, and then breathing out, coming back up. Fantastic. One or two more. Good control on the down, heels stay planted, and then really push into those heels and the full foot as you come back up. Fantastic. All righty, get into position for your step ups on the left leg. We're gonna spend a minute practicing on each leg, but just a short break in between sides. If you're not quite ready, no rush, just join us when you are. Again, left leg first, picking it up, use those arms as needed, driving down, extend, really key to stand all the way up at the top, squeeze the tush, stack the shoulders over the hips, and then coming down with control. Set the foot down, picking it back up, drive into that step to come back to standing. Fantastic. And down. Good job. You know yourself. So move through as you feel comfortable, watching the alignment through the knee and holding strong through the hips, drawing up through the belly. Help keep those hips nice and square. Squeeze the back of your body, just like we practiced with those glute bridges on the ground. Now we're doing it standing. Nice work. Maybe one or two more, all the way up, controlling down. Awesome. Maybe that's your last one, or if you want to join me for one final time, standing tall and stepping back. Fantastic. In between sides, we're going to walk the feet outside the hips, reaching those arms straight out, and we're going to do just a little bit of a side bend here, where I'm going to push the knees wide and just kind of sway side to side, getting a little bit of a stretch in that groin area. If you don't feel a whole lot here and you feel like you can't go deeper, you can also take the hands on the thighs, kind of slide the hands down to the bottoms of the knees, and now we can sway side to side here with the hands on the legs. And sometimes that helps to feel a little bit more stable, get a bit of a stretch in that inner thigh. So I'm pushing the knee out, extending the one leg, and then back to center for that second side. Good job. Alrighty, if you are crouched forward, coming back to the top, walk the feet back in, and we're gonna get ready for that step up here on the right leg. Eyes up and forward, and 2, 1, here we go. Step it up, pull up, squeeze the tush, and then stepping back. Fantastic. I'm gonna take a full minute here. So find your rhythm, good alignment through the knees, and staying square through the hips. Awesome. Picking the foot up, driving that leg down into the stair. That's where you generate that force to create that strength. Stepping it back. We're halfway through, another 30 seconds to practice on this side. Up and back. Remember, it's all practice. Training for life, keeping ourselves as strong as we're able, as mobile and as flexible as able, so that we can keep our independence, keep ourselves strong in our body. Up and stepping it back. Final time, and take a rest. Awesome job. All right, I'm going to use the back of the step stool here. You can also push against the wall or a countertop. We're going to open up our mid back. So draw the stomach in, walking those feet back, establish a little bend to those knees, and go ahead and lower the head between the arms. Belly drawn in, and now take 3 to 5 nice deep breaths into the back of the ribs. And gently breathe out, lowering your heart towards the floor, making sure you protect your low back. 2 more breaths here. Nice big breath into the back of the body. And smooth breath out. Fantastic. One more time. When you're ready, it's coming back to standing, walking the feet in. And then we're going to do one more stretch together in the chair. We're going to do our seated figure 4. All right. So as you make your way to seated, make sure you sit right on the edge of the chair. Sit right up on those sit bones. And now we're going to mirror each other once again. So we're going to start with your right leg. Go ahead and pick it up. Interlace the hands in front of the knee. Squeeze those shoulders back behind you. Goose is coming to join our cool down stretch. And then we're going to swing this foot over towards that opposite knee. We're going to start with the glute stretch. Adjust those hands. Readjust the posture. So I'm really lifting my head towards the sky. And now hug the leg towards that opposite side of the body. So if it's your right leg, you're thinking about trying to pull it towards the left side. Get a nice opening here in that outer glute area. This is fairly intense for you. Maybe this is the position you stay in. If you can go a little bit deeper, you're going to look to try to grab the ankle and now reposition that figure 4. So I'm going to pull the foot onto my thigh, and it may be up here. Maybe that's giving you that good stretch. Still focus on that upper body posture as well. Sit tall, draw the shoulders back, and then just gently invite this knee to lower down. And now take this foot of your right leg and draw the toes back towards the knee of that same leg. Good job. Close the eyes and breathe. We're going to spend another 15 seconds here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Last breath. When you're ready, go ahead and release that side. Set that foot down and let's balance ourselves out on that second side. Glute stretch first. Interlace the hands in front of the knee. Use this to engage that upper body as well. Pull the elbows back, pull the shoulders back, cross the foot over. Readjust the hands, drawing that knee towards the opposite side. Open up that outer hip first. And this may be as deep as you want to go into that hip stretch. If you want to go a little bit more, you're going to reach for the ankle, reposition that foot, and then invite this knee to lower down, maybe not too low. And then remember to draw the toes and the foot back towards that same side. All right, 20 more seconds here. Eyes closed, breathing through it. Never forcing. If it's intense that you feel like you're kind of grimacing, then come out of the stretch just a bit. And 2, 1, and go ahead and unwind from here. Lowering that foot down. Fantastic. All right, our final breaths together to complete our session. So sitting tall, I invite you to bring your palms together in front of your heart. And then as you breathe in, go ahead and raise the arms up in front of you. And then as you breathe out, circle the hands and arms down, spread the palms nice and wide. Maybe just a nice, gentle smile. Twice more. In through the nose. Elongate through that spine, lifting up, and then relax. Let it all go. Fantastic. Last time. Let's breathe in some positive energy. Think about some love. Think about something that brings you joy. Maybe someone in your life that brings you some joy. And then release any stress or tension. Fantastic. All right, give yourself a little round of applause. Thank you for moving with me today. We'll be back for a live session on Thursday at the same time. And those of you on the email list, If you can move between now and Thursday, the session that I emailed out for the second day of the week would be excellent to do either tomorrow or Wednesday. Kind of keep yourself nice and consistent with your movement throughout the week. All right, stay healthy. And remember, life is meant to be enjoyed. So do something today that brings you joy. Take care.